What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening. I wanted to put this in the top of the show. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/Brennan Tassif. Check out the merch store at brennantcomedy.com to get your ex-drinking buddy merch. Subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, we're coming to you live from Gotham Production Studios, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It's my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it is still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with someone and reminisce about the good old days. Most weeks I will be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Natalie Cuomo!
I love it. What a good intro.
Thank you. What's up?
Wow, that was so fun. Hi, Brennan.
I'm excited for you to be here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm so intrigued by your plaque. Can you read it to me,
Yes,
please?
absolutely. Jacksonville Comedy Podcast
Podcast of the year. Jesus. You guys know I'm on the podcast of the year right now? Fuck.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
My friend got that made at a trophy shop before I left.
I love that.
Marcus Crespo, huge shout out. Plug everything up front. You got a whole lot going on. You're on tour right now.
I'm on tour. All those dates are on my website, natalie.cuomo.com/shows. You can follow me on Instagram at Natalie Cuomo _ at Natalie Cuomo and everything else. Watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Natalie Cuomo. Watch my podcast, Help with Natalie Cuomo, youtube.com. I've got a special coming out. You'll find that, on my socials. And that's about it.
Beautiful. Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
Now, you are very well known, obviously, out there.
Thank
People
you.
know you.
Thank you.
But for my listeners, I wanted to kind of talk about, before we get into some of the stories, I wanted to kind of talk about how you got into comedy, how you ended up in the city, everything like that. You're originally from Jersey, correct?
I'm from Queens.
Queens?
New York. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So have you always had a passion for stand-up, or how did you kind of get into comedy?
I always loved acting. That was like my dream and my passion. And
did you do a lot of that growing up in Queens?
I did.
Like as a kid?
Yeah. I was a big musical theater kid, big into acting. And then I went to acting conservatory, and then I just went to an open mic one day, and then I went every day afterwards.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. So did you, what prompted you to go to the open mic? I only ask this because while I normally have a lot of comics on the show, it is, to the majority of normal people, it is a weird thing to be like, yeah, let me just go on stage and tell some jokes.
Totally. It's something I had been thinking about for a while before, and I had been kind of feeling negatively about acting, and I felt kind of uninspired, and I felt there was I guess the short version of the story would be I went to like this movie screening, and I felt like there's no reason that I shouldn't be trying to do this. Mm-hmm. So my version of like revisiting my dreams was going to an open mic.
Okay, that's awesome. How did it go, the first one?
It was terrible.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
There's some people who come on and go, well, yeah, I brought all my friends. It was awesome. And I go, that's cheating.
I think it's weird because I wouldn't want anyone I knew there.
Yeah.
For the first one. It's just so strange. Why?
Do you remember any of the jokes that you did?
I do. Well, what happened was I was going to go do it at New York Comedy Club. It was canceled. So they're like, go to Greenwich. That was canceled. So then me and a bunch of other comics walked to Karma Lounge. So it was the third one that day that I'd attempted to go to.
Okay.
I was like, I'm either really meant to do this or really meant to not do this. So.
That's a good way to think about it, because you just kept pushing through. Mm-hmm. My first mic was in 2009, and I was wasted. And
really?
Yeah, I remember some of the material, but it was like, this is now thinking back on it, disgusting. Probably the worst. Yeah, because I was trying to play into this whole, because it's not me, but I was trying to play into this whole like former athlete, frat guy kind of like persona. which is not me at all in the grand scheme of things, but it was bad. But I digress. So, wait.
Interesting. What?
Nothing. I love it. I love it. I wanted to ask you about coming up in Queens. How long did you live in Queens before you moved out?
I guess until college.
Okay. Where did you go to college?
I went to Bard College in
Okay.
upstate New York.
That's interesting. You're not the first person on this podcast who went there.
Who else went there?
Can't remember, but I remember hearing the college.
Who?
I'm trying to think now. I'll look into it.
A comic?
Yeah. I would think it was
a guy?
It was a comic that I had on. I can't. It was probably a guy.
Elliot Thompson, he went there.
No,
he's a New York comic.
I didn't have him on. Yeah.
Daphne?
No.
She went there. All right, I'm out.
Maybe. So Bard College.
Okay.
Is that what you went to college for, acting?
No, so like I went to college and I was like, I went in with a year of credits. So basically I had to pick my major in the first year. It was either going to be, in the first semester, it was either going to be acting or environmental and urban studies.
Okay.
I had to pick in the first semester. So I took one acting class and one environmental and urban studies class. And, unfortunately I went for the environmental and urban studies.
So that's what you studied?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Natalie.
Yeah.
Let's get into some of the stuff that you sent me. I do appreciate you sending me the list.
You asked me for a list.
I did.
You
and you
did.
sent it. And I appreciate
did. Does
that.
everyone send the list?
No.
Who?
You'd be shocked
No, I
how
wouldn't.
many people come on here and they go, no, it's in my head. And I go, that's not.
You want a list.
Yeah, that's not what we're
It's
doing
not
here.
much to ask for.
Yeah.
Tell them. He asked for a list. He says, I'd like a list.
You tell them.
I'd like a list of some stories that you're going to discuss. And I want the list now.
Well, I said at your earliest convenience. But when did you, were you a big partier in high school and everything?
I was a very big partier in high school.
When did you start drinking? Like what age?
I think I started like end of 8th grade, beginning of 9th grade. I started partying a bit. Yeah.
So, what?
Not in the cool kids way.
That's where I was going. What kind
never
of led
cool.
to it?
What led to it?
Like, how did you?
My dad's a big collector of spirits.
That's the funniest way anyone's ever put that. Ever. I'm sorry. You're giving me a look like I'm laughing too hard, but that was the funniest
I like
thing.
to make people laugh.
That was the funniest way anyone's ever put that.
So
A collector of spirits.
he is, yeah. So I guess I would, take the water bottle and put a little of each spirit in.
Ooh, so you'd mix them.
And then I'd bring it to school and I'd say, look what I've got.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was your first iteration into drinking. It wasn't like at a house party. It wasn't like.
And we'd drink it
with
in
friends.
class.
Yeah. You would just sip on it all day long.
That was the beginning.
Okay.
Then we'd go to get like Four Locos at bodegas and stuff.
The original.
40s or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's never like cool parties or stuff necessarily. They're just like house hangs
Okay.
or whatever.
So is it safe to say that you weren't like hanging out with like all the jocks and the cheerleaders and all those
There were
kind of
no
people?
jocks. There were no cheerleaders. Like
Okay.
I went to a very weird high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first year of my high school was at this one. It was in Elmhurst, Queens. So there was one floor of a building, but we moved to another building for the second year of the high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, we actually got gentrified.
Did you?
No, but we got pushed out. Wasn't how you would say gentrified in the sentence. How would you have said it? Neighborhood got gentrified and we got pushed out.
Yeah.
No, but we did get. we got evicted.
Yeah.
We got evicted. I'm so stupid. Anyway, we got evicted. We had to move to another building for the next 3 years of high school.
Okay, so it sounds like it was a pretty small high school?
It's a small high school. There was no gym class the first year. I had to take Afro-Caribbean dance class.
One more time.
There was no gym class the first year. I had to take Afro-Caribbean dance class for gym.
Afro-Caribbean dance class.
No sports teams.
Okay. Oh, wow. So it was like a tiny high school.
Mm-hmm.
How many people were in your graduating class?
150.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 529 was in mine. That's a big difference.
So there was no fun to be had. There was no excitement to be had. There was no happiness. There was no cheerleading. There were no sports stadiums. There were no colors.
You guys didn't have like a mascot at least?
if you wanted to join a sports team, you're welcome to audition for the teams of one of the schools downstairs.
You're bringing it today.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's hilarious. So
I got a B- in Afro-Caribbean dance class.
did you?
I did.
How'd you get a B-?
Did not like me. Wasn't good. I was no good.
Are you a dancer? Can you dance?
Tap dancer.
You can?
I can tap dance.
Like you can legit tap dance?
I can time step, third time step, shuffle up to Buffalo.
What's up?
Yeah.
Was this all learned
They
at
know.
the conservatory?
No, I took tap dancing well into 9th grade.
Did you?
I did.
Okay, so what else did you take? Any other? So you did theater as a child,
I did.
and then you did tap. What musicals were you in?
Oh, I was Ado Annie in Oklahoma.
No, really?
I was Pippin and Pippin.
Get out of here! You're the lead.
I know. Thank you.
You are the person.
I know. I was T Moon in Once on This Island. Thank you.
Really?
Yes, thank you.
That's actually no. I'm being dead serious. That's actually really cool.
I know.
So, God. So what? What prompted you? Well, like once you guys started drinking at school and stuff, like what did you just keep it going, or like were you just
We go to the park afterwards.
okay?
go to
Yeah,
a
like
friend's
take me through what would happen.
Elmhurst or Long Island City. Like, so Elmhurst was 9th grade, and then Long Island City was like 10th, 11th, 12th.
Okay, so let's talk about Elmhurst first. When you
Mhm.
first started going, were you scared? Were you nervous getting drunk at school, or did you just not care? Or?
Oh, Elmhurst, that was mostly after school for sure.
Okay,
Because 9th grade was a little more like meek, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So then what happened? When did it change? When did you become less meek when it came to drinking at school?
Long Island City for sure.
You were just like, fuck this, we're drinking in class, 7:30 a.m.
I mean, you get a bagel from the cart in
Yeah.
front, and
Just get it going?
well, the thing is, like, say you had second period free.
Yeah. Oh, you guys had free periods?
We had free periods. It was just like a shit show. I feel it was we were the first graduating class of the school.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds
I don't
kinda-
know why this happened.
So then by the time you're a senior, are you guys just living it up?
I had a friend who did oxy out of a light bulb in the library.
Okay, we're going to talk about this story.
So I really
Tell
was
this
just,
story. And
He just like tried to freebase oxy out of a light bulb in the library.
so how did this happen? Was he a big oxy guy or?
Just experimenting.
Okay. And
Just
then
like-
how would you try to freebase it out of a light bulb?
He just like just light the bottom of the. I don't know what he was.
Did he
doing.
grind it up?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, God, this was an interesting high school, it sounds like.
It was. I'm actually right. I thought of some material about it when we were driving.
Okay.
Dan was like, this is the stuff you have to write about because our high school reunion was so ridiculous.
Oh, can we talk about that?
Yeah.
If you don't mind. I don't want to burn any of your material, but
no,
let's.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, nobody listens to me anyway.
No, they do.
Let's talk about your. So you just had your 5-year high school reunion?
Well, no, what I wanted to write about was
See what I did there?
we had a 1-year high school reunion,
Okay.
which is very clingy.
You did, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was.
Did you have a 1-year high school reunion?
Not at all. I was because I was like, there's no way you've had a 10-year high school reunion.
Well, yeah, it has been. I graduated in 2012. So
oh, did you? Okay.
We would have had a 10-year, but
So
I
it
don't know what
wouldn't just
happened.
now.
I think everyone's just,
Dead.
yeah, splattered.
So how does this happen? How do you guys go? Who sends the email? Who sends out the DM of a 1-year high school reunion?
I don't know. It was through a Facebook group.
Okay. So you guys are all close enough
Not
where
anymore.
you're on Facebook. Oh.
Yeah.
So did you go?
Yeah.
Was everyone there?
Not everyone.
Was the guy who tried to freebase Oxy there?
Oh, yeah. He was.
He was there?
Of course.
That's
Someone's going to comment on this like, that's not how you freebase Oxy. This girl's fucking stupid.
hey, no one will.
Watch it.
There's so many people who listen to this who have tried to freebase Oxy.
And that's what they're going to say.
They don't know.
So
You can freebase anything if you heat it up enough.
have you?
I've never freebased anything.
Yeah.
I have smoked crack before.
How was it?
It's
Good? So what was your favorite thing?
my favorite thing was alcohol. It always has been.
Really?
Yeah.
My thing with alcohol is that I've always gotten very sick immediately.
Okay.
Like I would just get very sick.
did that start when you were drinking like after school and stuff?
So I think like the worst story would be like 11th grade.
Yeah.
I had a Four Loko to myself in the morning.
Oof.
And
That's good though. It's an energy drink. You get
well, it did have the energy at that point, but I got very sick at my friend's house and I still had to go to chemistry class. But I was just throwing up at my friend's house in the bathroom. And I kept saying like, I still have to go to chemistry. I still have to go to chemistry. I was like, no, I have to go to chemistry. And it was humiliating. Obviously, I didn't go to chemistry class.
You didn't go?
No, but my friends made fun of me for so long.
Did they really?
They were guys, but they always were making fun of me for the way I got sick that day. And so after that, I was like, I can't get sick in front of people. And every time I felt myself getting sick from alcohol, I'd be like, I need to go.
You would just leave?
I would just leave.
God, that was that impactful on you.
It was so humiliating. So there were so many times where I was like, I'm going to be sick. And I would just leave. And then I'd have to call my mom because I'd be like alone on a subway platform, just like puking my brains out and be like, Mom, I'm sick. And she'd just come.
That's shitty because anytime anyone's ever well, no, I say that because anytime, like I have a bit about it, like my mom coming to visit me at college and like drinking so much that she got sick. And it's like, my first thought is never like, oh, we're going to razz this person. It's like, we need to take care of this person.
Well, I guess there's enough ball busting the next day and stuff like that.
Yeah. But that changed you. That changed who you were as a person.
I won't get sick in front of
especially.
people because it's humiliating.
Oh, see, we have opposite ideas.
It's really, really embarrassing.
I never thought about it like that. Now I'm going to definitely, because with my anxiety the way it is, I throw up at like the drop of a hat.
You do?
Yeah, like bad.
Like after drinking? Like after not drinking?
Well, so yeah, even now to this day, almost 5 years sober, I'll still, like if something comes up and I start to panic, I'll just vomit.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I do it in front of Savannah. Like she can tell.
Nice.
Savannah will just look at me and she goes, "You gotta go to the bathroom." I'm like, "Yeah."
Aww.
But so that's what I'm saying is like I never found it in bed. Like I mean, obviously at a party it's kind of weird.
That's a different type of vomit though. If you just have to vomit, that's fine. But if it's like projectile vomiting, you're like so sick, and
you're like stumbling around and stuff.
If you just can't control your vomit, it's like every 8 minutes. That's a different type of vomit.
So when I used to drink, this is a big thing in my family. So there were people of different schools of thought. There were the people where they would party and they would drink, and then once they threw up, it was over. They were done for the night. They'd go home.
Oh, yeah. I could never get back up and keep hanging.
Then there were the people like my family where you threw up, and then you're like, man, I feel so much better now. No. Let's go.
Can you do that?
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
I can't do that.
Yeah, we used to puke and rally. It's a very common saying, especially in my family.
So that's very interesting. I've never been able to do that at all.
Well, I know like Savannah, friend of the show, been on the podcast, my girlfriend, she's very
friend
much...
of the show.
Yeah.
Imagine I called my boyfriend a friend of the show.
He's been on your show.
Yeah, but I've never said, Dan Lamorde, friend of the show.
Well, I say it so people know who I'm talking about.
And my girlfriend?
Yeah, my girlfriend, Savannah, friend of the show. I'm just going to have you razz me the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But she like doesn't throw up at all. Like she's very anti-throw up.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, friend of the show. But
does she drink?
Oh yeah, and I said that a little aggressive.
Is it weird when she comes home and like is it weird kissing her if she smells like alcohol?
No, just because for me that's kind of been my life. So like I quit drinking. I went to rehab originally in 2013.
Okay.
So it's been like a battle for a very long time of like not like getting sober, and so like I grew up in a family where everyone kind of drank. So I've never been like anti-drinking. Even in my sobriety, I'm not like, I mean, I know Dan jokes about it, but when he used to drink and I'd see him at the stand, I'd be like, let's fucking go. Let's do it. Shot. Are you doing a shot? I'll buy you a shot.
Okay.
Because drinking had been for so long a part of my life. So I don't resent or regret that being a part of my life. So when she comes home, she'll have like a couple glasses of wine after work, and when she comes home, I get more upset at the fact that she stopped to get a couple glasses of wine and didn't text me than I am that she had a couple glasses of wine. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The insecurity comes out, and I'm like, wait, what were you doing? Who are you with? What's going on?
Right.
Versus I can't believe you had a drink. Like we have a full bar in our house.
Okay, and that's fine with you.
Just it doesn't. Because my drinking got so out of control and the almost dying thing, like I was like, oh, I can't Like, I just can't do this.
I haven't had a drink since the day Dan and I started dating.
That is something I did want to touch on. That is something that is super impressive. I'm very proud of you and definitely proud of Dan. We're going to have him on the show. Obviously, scheduling issue last time. I'm an idiot.
No.
But no, yeah. Who books a guest and then doesn't book the time slot?
Not you.
This guy.
Not you. Not him.
So, just point.
Not him.
So, yeah, let's talk about that. So your boyfriend, if you don't mind me saying, Dan Lamore,
Friend
very
of the
funny
show.
comedian, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
You nailed it. Yeah, he quit drinking. He's got sober, and you, in solidarity, have not had a drink since you two have been together.
That's true.
Is that something that you miss at all, or is that just something that you do?
No, I never really liked drinking, so it's okay for me. Yeah, I've always talked about how I don't like to drink. And yeah, I don't miss drinking.
Okay. Did you continue drinking? I kind of want to talk about this. After you got done with high school and you guys were drinking and like doing the house hangs and stuff like that, did you continue drinking into college even though you weren't a huge fan of it?
I drank a little bit in college, but I never went too crazy. And then I drank like socially and stuff. But this is definitely the longest I've gone without drinking, for sure. But I've always felt weird at comedy shows because people are always offering you alcohol. And I was always like, I feel like I can't say I don't drink, but I don't want to drink. I always want to say no. And sometimes I'll be like, I don't drink before I go up. But then people will offer it to you immediately after you go up and you're like, okay, I'll just hold this. Or there's like a lot of times where I'd like go to the bathroom, pour it down the toilet, and then just like hold the cup or like, put the cup in the bathroom. Like I have like lots of tricks and stuff for not wanting to drink around other people or not wanting to take a drink from a stranger.
Well, and that's another thing too, is because not only it's the dislike of the drinking in the first place, but you know, you're taking drinks from strangers. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't really like the feeling of being drunk.
Yeah.
It's just not, I think I do get sick very easily. And I just don't like, I like smoking weed.
Yeah.
But.
Great transition. When did you start smoking weed?
I think started smoking weed in high school as well, around the same time.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, and then I stopped smoking weed for like all of college until about like 2 years ago.
What prompted the stop in college?
I just got anxious. Like I think a lot of people go through that phase of just like getting very anxious when you smoke.
Mm-hmm. So when you first started smoking, was that through your friends in high school, or was that okay? So that was less about getting it at the house and more about getting it from the friends. Yeah. Did you guys, so you liked smoking more than you like drinking? Just in general?
Yes. Yeah. I like smoking weed. I just don't like, I get sick. I don't like the feeling of being drunk and I just don't like it.
What does weed do for you that's different? Because the reason I ask is because in college, my roommate was a big smoker, like would wake up and would smoke to start the day and all that kind of stuff. And every time I would try it, it would make me so anxious that I was like, and paranoid. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So what is it for weed that kind of like mellows you out? Is it just calms you down? Or?
I've never woke up the next day from being high and like regretted something the way I regretted something the next day from being drunk. Like,
that's a very good point.
Like I feel like the things I regret that I do when I'm drunk are just so unhinged.
Yeah. Like
I think the last time I got pretty drunk, I was in LA with my friend Megan, and I sent the texts that were so angry and so mean, and like I think that it unleashes the side of myself that I don't like.
Yeah. Whereas
weed, I'm just kind of like quiet and maybe overthink things a little bit less. I mean, neither are really necessary in my life. I think weed kind of makes me lazier.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's important for me because I overthink things and I think I move too fast.
Well, you do have a lot going on, so every once in a while it would make sense that you need to like take a break and be like, no, I'm just going to chill.
Yeah, but it's hard. Sometimes I do overdo weed as well. So it's balance.
Have you ever done it like to the point where you've gotten sick or anything like that with weed?
No.
Okay. Because I had a guest on, Anya Jones, who talked about over smoking.
Huh.
And that would actually make her sick.
Okay.
And she'd be at like comedy clubs or like getting ready to go do an open mic, and she'd be like, oh, I'm going to throw up right now.
No, see, I feel like I don't want to I want to be sober when I perform comedy.
Absolutely.
Like I think every set, like if I'm going to learn from a set, I should be sober. If I want to remember anything from a set, I should be sober. And these people are paying for comedy. They're
Yeah,
not
of
paying
course.
for you to be obliterated.
Well, and we've all seen it where people will get on stage and it's just like, oh, I'm so wasted. And it's like, then get off the stage. Like,
Totally.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, you and I share that same sentiment. Even the reason I stopped doing comedy when I fell off the wagon was because when I first got sober, or excuse me, before I got sober, I'd do open mics and I'd run the light and do like 12 minutes of like an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. I'd just be like, ah, and then they'd light me and I'd be like, put the light away. I'm not going anywhere. And then my cousin informed me that was not becoming of a comedian.
Not good. I know. I totally understand. Yeah, you can just, life is crazy.
It is.
It's a crazy time. It's a crazy time.
I wanted to talk to you about stealing.
Oh, yeah.
You sent me that.
I did get caught stealing. I think high school was really my rebellious phase.
Oh my gosh. So this was in high school too.
Yeah, everything happened in high school. Was my high school shaped me. Like, I really feel like a lot of people feel that way, but it was really a very influential time. Like, I always felt like if I went to a different high school, I would be a very different person.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel that way, I guess. But
yeah, that's true.
yeah, I got caught stealing in high school from Urban Outfitters.
Okay, so take us through it. How old are you? What year
I was in
is
11th
this?
grade, and I had a phase with my friend who actually happened to be very rich. She lived on Wall Street, but she loved to steal.
Okay.
She loved it. She loved
liked
it
the rush.
She loved it so much she bought one of those things that takes off the
little magnetic like scanner thing?
it took off the
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
it took off the hooky thing.
Really?
Yeah. So we would go to stores, we'd steal. She'd be like, I'm cold. I'm going to get a sweater. Like, that was her thing. Yeah. She had a tattoo in like white ink in 11th grade. Like, she was a badass. She loved blue stars. Like, she Ellie Goulding, like, let's go. Okay. So
Is that what you guys used to call blue stars?
it was a type of was blue stars.
Okay.
That was one of them. Anyway, we had gone to Hollister, but we were in Urban Outfitters now. And we had each picked out some things.
You do not strike me as a Hollister Urban Outfitter type shopper.
Well, she liked Hollister.
Yeah.
I liked the jeans at the time. But Urban Outfitters were there, and we each had a few things. But the thing went off. It was the one in Soho.
Okay.
And she panicked, and she gave me all of the clothes. So I had 7 items.
So wait, did you buy anything at all, or you just walked in?
No, we just walked through. We just we were just holding everything.
And then just walked out?
Walked out.
Okay.
And the thing buzzed, and she just pushed all of the items into me and
What?
left. And
just ran off?
Yeah, and the woman was like, not her. And then they just had me there, and then they're like, here, come with us. And I was like, so then, yeah, I got, and then.
Did they call the police?
I didn't get arrested or anything,
Okay.
but I did have to pay a big fine and they called my mom.
Okay.
And then
Was she mad?
she was upset, the most upset. She was more upset that I didn't think what I did was wrong.
Oh, really?
She's like, tell me that you know it's wrong. And I was like, no.
You were really rebellious.
And then the big thing was that, like, my dad was going to have to find out because they were sending it in the mail.
Yeah.
And I was so afraid my dad was going to find out and he was going to go crazy. So I made a therapy appointment to tell my dad.
Okay.
So I made like this therapy appointment to tell my dad because my dad, he had, a little bit of a temper.
Yeah.
I was very afraid to tell him that I got caught stealing. And like this paper was going to come in the mail any day and he was going to find out and he was going to open the mail. So we were like waiting for the train. He knew that we were like going to go see my therapist. And I was like, he's like,
That's smart. Put someone in between the two.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really good thinking on your
I
part.
was so freaked out. And he's like, all right, Natalie, he's nervous. He's like, Natalie, what's this all about? Like, why are we going to go see your therapist? Like, what's happening? And I was like, all right, Dad, like, if you really want to know, like, I got caught stealing. And he's like, that's it?
Oh.
And he just started laughing. And he's like, cancel the appointment. Let's go home. And I was like, what the fuck?
I thought that was going to go a different way.
I was like, and he just started laughing. And he said, I used to steal when I was a kid. And I was like, what the fuck? And we went home.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
God. I saw that going definitely a different way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was weird.
So you didn't even, it was no big deal.
I don't know. I mean, he probably just didn't want to go sit there with me and
Yeah.
my therapist, but
But it's always interesting because sometimes there's certain things that you'll do and you're like, oh, this is not a big deal. And it'll set your parents off. And you're like, what?
yeah, it's so weird.
And then there are other times where like you think it's a big thing. Like I remember when I got my first DUI because I had left home at 7. Like I had been on my own since 17. So when I got my first DUI, I was like, well, I'm not calling anybody.
Mhm.
Like, I don't need to call it. Like, I don't have to tell anybody anything because I'm, I was like, I'm on my own. I don't fuck them. I'm like, and so I didn't tell anybody.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll never forget it. I called my mom like way later to just be like, hey, this is what happened. And then she told my dad, and I thought it was going to be like this big deal.
Yeah.
Because, like, they're divorced, but it's like our son got arrested, so I have to tell his dad. So, like, I forget how my dad found out, but, like, he was like, all right, you didn't hurt anybody? You didn't crash your car? And he's like, all right. And I was like,
yeah, it's
what?
so weird.
Like, what?
It's like they're just fucking with you.
Yeah, it's because
Like,
sometimes
you're fucking with me right now? Because some of the shit that you've gotten mad about is so small.
it's so dumb.
And this is such a big deal, and you don't give two shits. Like, are you fucking with me right now, man?
It's weird. I think maybe they get angry about the small stuff to prepare us for life. And then when real life stuff happens, they're kind of like, well, yeah, that's why.
I think they don't actually care. I think this is just whatever mood they're in.
That's true, too. I wanted to ask you about your tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
When did you start doing that? You got some new ones, I
got
see.
some new ones this weekend.
Those are super cool.
Yep.
When you guys were at the
Yeah, I got this one
convention.
too, and I got this one on my shoulder. It says bird.
Oh, okay.
Hurts like a bitch.
Which was I was going to say which one was the most painful, but obviously it was the shoulder.
This here, it's very bad.
You guys just did a tattoo convention. How did
We
that go?
did.
That was fun?
Tattoo convention was fun. The tattoo convention was fun. I got 4 tattoos. Dan got 3.
Yeah, I saw.
Looks badass.
You racked him up.
Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah. Love him with his tattoos.
I love him with and without the tattoos.
Aww. So when did you get your first tattoo?
My first tattoo, I did it myself when I was 16 with like a needle and some ink.
Okay.
I really, in high school with my friend Kendra, we like did each other's initials on our ankles.
Do you still have it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then when I was 18, I got like my first one at a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
At 18.
What was this just your rebellious stage in high school? Because you've got a lot of them now, and so you keep getting them. So
I like
obviously
them.
you love
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
So what prompted you to do the first one with Kendra?
I guess we realized you could if you get India ink and a needle, and then you get a needle, you tape it to a pencil, and then it's like ridiculous. You like tie thread around it so that the ink stays in the thread. So like when you go down, like and poke it, the ink like drips into the hole that you just poked, and it stays there.
So you just figured out you could do it?
And then we just like lit the needles with the lighter.
Yeah.
We were just in my room like.
How did you figure this out though?
Google.
Okay. I always forget when younger people come on in the internet age. I figured that out through being incarcerated.
Nice.
Because they would give each other tattoos.
Did you get any?
No, I have 3, but not while I was incarcerated.
Well, so one of the most amazing tattoo styles was created in prison from like a cassette player motor.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Some beautiful pieces made.
Yeah, they what they would do is at least the people I was in the dorm with is they would get. So you take a pen and then you get all the ink out of the pen, and then you take something small and you just sharpen it.
Yeah.
Almost down, obviously, to like a needle. And then what they would do is they would dip the needle in the ink and then like push it into your skin, and then dip it in the ink and then push it into your skin.
Damn.
And then, so everyone got the 3 loyalty. What is it? Loyalty, honor,
Did you
respect.
get that?
No, everyone got it. And I was like,
Why didn't you get it?
I pussed out.
Why? You
Because
think you were going to get an STD or something?
no, honestly, I had no qualms about any of that. My biggest thing was like, I work in the service industry, and if I have 3 dots on my hand, that might be weird.
How long were you incarcerated?
I've been arrested 8 times. The longest stint that I did at any one moment was 3 months, but a total
And you
of like
spent
a year.
3 months and didn't get a tattoo?
I should have.
What'd you do all the time just thinking, oh man, I want to get that tattoo? I'd be in there just being like, when is my appointment?
I literally, like the night they were doing it, it was this guy named Cuba, and everyone called him Cuba because he was from Cuba, and he talked like Al Pacino and Scarface. We all thought he was doing a bit because he's like, hi, man, my name is Cuba. And we're like, you don't really talk like that. He goes, yeah, man, everyone in Cuba talks like this. So he was doing it. He was doing it for everybody. Everyone was getting it. The 3 dots. That means you're hard, man. And I was even thinking like, I could get it on my
They
ankle.
switch needles or no?
No. And I was like, I could get it on my ankle or I could get it, but I was like, no, you got to do it on your hand. That's where you do it.
You weren't worried about STDs. You were literally just worried about your job.
Yeah. Well, I was like, well, when I get out of jail, like I have to go back to work and like it'll be weird with a tattoo where everyone can see it. And then they're going to ask me what it is and where I got it. And now in hindsight, 10 years later,
Pretty cool.
that would have been the fucking coolest story if people asked me where I got it.
It would be.
It's when I was incarcerated.
It would be.
He's a badass.
Did you get into fights?
In jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
You have to?
Yeah.
Was it bad? Was it?
Yeah. So when I first got arrested, the first time I went to jail, it was fine. Like there was no, because I literally got ROR, released on your own recognizance. So you get arrested and then they're like, all right, this guy's not going to run. Like we'll just release him and he'll come back for court. And so that's the first couple times I got arrested. That's what happened. But when I got arrested, and I was like, oh, it was like the whole bit I have about like the judge said 9 months. And I was like, oh no. Like when that happened, I was like, oh, fuck. It's very Shawshank Redemption where Morgan Freeman's like, when those doors slam shut behind you, your whole life's like, that's exactly how it felt.
Uh-huh.
And so the first time I got into jail, I was safe a little bit because of my stature, because I'm a big dude. And so like a lot of people didn't mess with me, but you have to establish that you're not going to take shit. So the first time that I was in for a long period of time, someone tried to take my commissary. It was the first time I got commissary, which is like you get an account and then you can pay for stuff outside of the usual 3 meals. So like chips or drinks or whatever. And someone came in and they go, hey, let me hold that. And I was like, no, man, this is mine. And then they tried to take it. And then immediately it's like, all right, here we go. And so that one wasn't too bad, just slammed against the locker. But the worst one was when I got finally sentenced and everything to the long time that I did. And I went to the trustee dorm. And as soon as you walk in, they go, TV room, TV room. And I was like, what does that mean? And you just immediately go in the TV room. And then someone is like, I'm going to fuck him up. And then you just start fighting. Because the way, like I've never been like a stand-up fighter. I've always been like, because I played football my whole life, so I can tackle people. So I've always been like, get people to the ground kind of thing. So I just tackled the guy and then he rolled on top of me and then just started wailing on me. And it only lasts like 20, 30 seconds and then they get up and then you're good. Like everyone knows like he's going to fight back. The people who don't fight back are the people who are fucked.
And what do they do to them?
They steal all their shit. Like nothing is yours anymore. Like
really?
It's theirs. Yeah. Like, so it can be kind of intense. But my biggest regret is not getting that tattoo.
Wow.
Because I would have. So when you just got your first one at the tattoo shop at 18, were you just like, I'm going to keep rolling?
I got a stick and poke in college from a girl.
Okay.
I got a few other small ones. I still got like, and then
So was this accumulated over the course of like the last, however many years, or did you go on a spree where you were just like, let's go?
I think I started getting bigger pieces around when I was 22, and now I'm about to be 28.
So the last 6 years, you've been kind of.
Yeah.
I like these. These are
thank
cool.
you. Yeah.
Do they mean anything or?
Of course not.
Okay. I like the smiley face.
I know. I don't even think he's a nice little guy.
I want to get more now that you and Dan are doing this.
Yeah.
I'm down.
What do you have? What are your 3 tattoos?
My tattoos are not cool like
Tell
yours.
me.
Mine are all scripture.
Scripture?
Yeah.
From the Bible?
Yeah.
Are you a religious man?
I used to be. I am probably out of the comedy circle. I'm probably lean more.
You're a
on
religious man? Why?
Yeah.
You should talk about being religious in your set.
I should.
There are no religious comics out there.
Well, it's not like a church clean level kind of like when you get sober, you need to have a higher power and everything like
Sure.
that. And I'd been through the near death experiences in life where I was like, well, as pretentious as this sounds, I was like, all right, well, obviously I'm doing everything I can to kill myself and something's keeping me alive. So that's kind of where I,
Could it be just the randomness of the universe? No.
It totally could be. It totally could be.
No, it's God.
But that wouldn't keep me sober. So
That's true.
You got to dump it into something.
You got to believe something.
Yeah. What is it? It doesn't matter what you believe in, just believe in it.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I almost died in a car. Well, that's dramatic. I got into a car accident when I was 18. My car spun around a bunch, and I had hanging from my rearview mirror like a little cross that I think one of my buddies had given me or my pastor had given me. And I remember as the car was spinning on the highway, and it was a convertible, so if it flipped, I'm dead. And as it's spinning, I remember staring at the cross because that was like something that wasn't moving. So I was staring at that while I was trying to adjust. Because what happens is when people spin, they overcorrect because they're looking at the world flying around them. So you need to focus on a single thing so you don't overcorrect. And I remember when I got out of, I couldn't open my door. I was so close to the guardrail, I had to climb out. And this was on the interstate when I was going like 60 miles an hour. And I remember thinking, oh, if this would have just gone into the guardrail, I'm gone. And so the first tattoo I got was that cross on my arm.
Oh.
And it says, thank you.
Would you get Savannah's name?
So this is a hot button issue in our house.
Really? She wants it?
Yeah.
She wants you to get her name?
Yeah, not in like a, it's come up before.
It has?
Yeah. We talk about everything.
Does she have your name?
No. She has no tattoo. Oh, she has one tattoo here.
What does it say?
Hot mess.
Are you going to propose?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. What's your plan? She doesn't listen to this, does she?
No.
So how are you going to propose to her?
I'm not sure. I don't have a sought out plan yet.
You should propose like with a
Should I get the name? I was going to say.
Will you marry me?
Well, that's.
And then do yes, no, and she can circle.
Like the notes we used to do in high school. Did you guys ever do that at your high school?
Yeah, but not with marriage.
No, but with like, do you want to go on a date?
Yeah, but no one sent one to me.
Do you want to hear something excruciating that I did?
Yeah.
We've kind of gotten off track for the drinking stories, but that's fine. I was in high school and my twin sister had this friend of hers. All her friends were very attractive, but she had this one in particular.
Really? Your sister's hot with hot friends?
My sister has hot friends.
Your sister's hot.
My sister has hot
You don't have hot friends unless you're hot. Or if you're a woman with hot friends, you're either hot or something is wrong with you.
No, yeah, I'd say my sister's attractive. It sounds weird saying that,
sister.
but
your sister's hot friends. Continue.
I remember. No, this was middle school, and I remember I was at Ross or something, and they had like one of those like little like costume jewelry, but it had like all these different colors in it, like different like sapphires and rubies and stuff. And I was like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? And it was like $30. It was obviously all fake. I was like, I'm gonna buy that and give it to her friend. Because I don't know what her favorite color is. And then I'll put like, do you want to go on a date?
Cute.
Yes or no?
Cute.
It was bad.
And what happened? She said no?
I never did it.
Okay. I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse.
But I'm the same kind of person where I've wanted kids since I was 12. So when I used to drink, I used to tell girls.
He's a romantic.
At bars, I used to say, you just need to be a vessel.
That's not romantic at all.
That's terrible.
Oh, so you're not a romantic at all?
I am very much so.
Why would you say that to a woman?
Because I was drunk and stupid and
that's not romantic at all.
Too drunk.
That's not romantic.
It was bad. But I am a hopeless romantic now. I talk about it all the time. That whole idea of love, like that Disney version of love, I want that. Like I was just telling Suki out there, there's this new Toyota commercial where the girl's driving and she's listening to like a phone call. And I sobbed during the commercial. Like it's like that's
You're going through menopause.
No, I just love that idea of love. Like whenever I see you and Dan together and you guys are always hugging and kissing, I'm like, oh, that's
it is cute.
I want that.
Yeah.
Like at the end of A Knight's Tale where he's writing the letter, love to the end with hope. I want that.
Yeah.
Savannah's very independent. She's not big on PDA and stuff like that.
You can PD at home.
PD at home. She does say that all the time whenever I flirt with her at the house. She goes, I already live with you. Like, you won. Like, you don't have to do this. Which is fantastic. I really do appreciate you coming on. This was so much fun.
Thanks for having me.
So are you going to keep the streak going with the not drinking?
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful. And now you've got the best excuse in the world.
Oh, I just say I don't drink. You know what?
I was going to say you could just be like, my boyfriend's sober. I don't.
Well, I like to take responsibility for my decisions.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's good. Good on you.
Yeah. Yeah, people feel so bad when they offer you alcohol. I don't know why. Why do people feel so bad when they offer you alcohol and you say, like, so someone offered me alcohol at a show.
It's just rejection. People don't like
And
rejection.
I said, I'm so sorry, I don't drink. I said, I don't drink. And they go, oh, I'm so sorry. They messaged me afterwards saying, I'm so sorry if I offended you offering you alcohol.
Oh, so you mean from that aspect. So when you say I don't drink, it normally implies sobriety. And sobriety normally implies like something
that I had a problem,
horrible
of course,
happened before. So that happens to me a lot. And actually, when people do that, I kind of chuckle. Like because what I'll do is I say, no, I'm sober, or I'll make a joke about it. Like at work, a lot of times people, if they get these really nice bottles of wine, will offer it to their server, especially if you help them pick it out. And I always go, oh no, I can't. They go, no, we insist. I go, my sponsor would get kind of mad. And I make a joke about it.
Yeah.
But some people do get genuinely like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's they think like your life, like in my case, my life is in the balance. Because it is if I start drinking, but no one person is that important to where I'm going to be like, okay.
Yeah, like I'm so sorry I tempted you that much.
Yeah,
that's so
hard for you. This must be so difficult. And it's
Right.
like, no, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, people do. I've had people before though not give a shit that I'm sober.
I don't like that. I've seen people act like that towards other people, and I've judged them for eternity.
Yeah, I can't stand when people do that because like my sobriety is well earned. And so when people go, like I've had guests, but not even like when I'm out, other comics sometimes will offer it and they'll be like, oh, I don't trust people who don't drink. And I go, well, okay, then I guess we can't be friends. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. But I've had guests when I used to bartend at the Palm in Tribeca, I had guests, a regular, she would come in and I think she was trying to sleep with me because she would always offer me drinks and be like, oh, I live right upstairs, you know, when do you get off? I don't think I know she was trying. It was very obvious. But I would always go, no, I don't drink. And then sometimes you have to put your foot down and be like, no, I'm sober. Like, I do not drink. And she still was like, well, what's one drink? And I'm like, I don't know how else to say this to you. Like,
it's crazy.
But some people can just be dicks.
I did see people getting very angry at someone posted like, look at this dive sober bar. Did you see this on Instagram?
I saw someone sent me the dive
bar. And everyone's
bar,
like, that's not a dive bar. Oh, wow, we're charging this much for juice. I was like, wow.
Yeah, people get upset.
Got mad.
And then on the flip side, I've seen it from the lens of the sober community. People will get upset to be like, the whole point of getting sober and doing the program and working the steps is so you don't want or need to go to a place to like sit around and drink. Because I used to, when I first got sober, I used to get Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, in a little rocks glass, like the little glass, because it looked like I was drinking a cocktail.
Right. And
I remember some of my friends that had been sober longer than me were like, you're not going to, if you're doing that, you have no intention of staying sober.
Interesting. It's a good point.
Because the whole point is to be beyond it, to be through it, is not to try and fake like you're still drinking.
I like that.
Yeah. So now I'm real big on all that stuff. Like when people tell me like, oh, I'm just going to go to a bar to play pool with my friends. I go, no, that's not. It'd be one thing if you were like a pool junkie, but if you were, you'd have a pool table at your house.
Right.
Like obviously you don't care that much about pool.
I hate going out, so it's nice.
Do you not? You guys don't go out? You guys aren't big party animals?
We go out, but we go out in like different ways. Like we like exploring.
Pumpkin patching?
Well, we go to make museums, you go explore, we go to different restaurants, just fun stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big like go out and party guy. Even when I was drinking, I was not big on. I would go home and drink by myself because it's like I can't get into any arguments or fights. I can't get rejected. Like I'm just going to sit here and drink.
I feel like my job is social enough that I don't really like to socialize outside of it.
Well, and you have so much not only with the comedy but with the Twitch and everything like that. And I tell people that when I'm at the gym because people will try and start small talk and I'll take my head because I've got noise canceling headphones like those high intensity Raycon ones.
Yeah.
So I literally cannot hear anything.
Like, what?
Yeah. So I have to pull it out. And they go, oh, sorry, I was just asking this. And in my head, I want to be like, dude, between comedy and serving, I have to put on this happy face all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I just want to come here and crush iron. Leave me the fuck alone. But I don't say that. Obviously, I go, oh my God, yeah, totally. But I'm sure, you have to interact with so many people on a daily basis that I'm sure when you and Dan want to just chill, you're like, let's not go anywhere.
Feels so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Plug everything one more time. Let everyone know. Twitch.
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Natalie Cuomo, at Natalie Cuomo _ on Instagram, at Natalie Cuomo on everything else.
How is the Twitch going?
Twitch is great. Yeah. Just got a couple new sponsorships, and you can listen to my podcast, Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm going to have Brennan on soon.
Are we?
Yeah.
That was cool. I did want to ask before, we're going to cut in like 2 minutes, but I did want to ask you with the Twitch thing, how did that, I'm so fascinated by this because I told you I have friends that are like, oh, we're going to start doing our podcast live on Twitch and nobody watches, but you have a substantial following. How did that even happen?
I just started doing it, I guess. Like it starts out small and you just have to keep doing it and doing it. It's funny, I was looking at it and the first month I streamed 80 hours.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So how did you even find out about it? Because I didn't hear about it until these people, and then they were like, oh yeah, we do it on Twitch. Did you like a friend or were you just like on social media?
Yeah, there's some other comics that do it. Okay. And yeah, I don't know. I just started playing video games and you just keep doing it and your audience grows. It just takes time. And
I just think it's so cool because when you first told me about it, you're like, no, I play video games on Twitch. Because to be honest, with the tattoos and, the Harleys and stuff, I was like, I did not think you were a gamer at all. And you're like, no, I really like it. How about you don't judge a book by its cover, you piece of shit.
I like video games.
Yeah.
I am a little antisocial on the inside.
I love it. Love it. Well, thank you everybody so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. One-man show coming in January. It's going to be big.
Can't wait.
I'm going to do it, and then I'll be able to move on from all this shit.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I can just start focusing on being silly.
Silly guy.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. We'll talk to y'all next week.